Hey guys, welcome to the Unreal learning tutorial experience that Adam has been giving me. You guys are following along, hopefully. And today, Adam, what are we going to do?
Today, we're going to take everything we learned and we're going to put it all on a new level. So get out of this default level and we're going to start printing it up, make it cooler, do some different things. So first off, go to File
Yeah.
and hit New Level and go to Default. So this is nice and blank. Hit play. Now click around. See, can you move?
I can't even move.
Yeah, okay, and that's why. Let's go ahead and hit stop. We are in a new level, so we got to set everything up from absolute scratch. So when you click on that little piece, that platform there, go ahead and click on it. It's really just like a cube, like a default cube that's been flattened, static mesh actor floor, but it's just a rectangular cube. You can either add more of these or make it bigger, but we're going to actually add a terrain.
Yay.
Um,
How do we do that?
So go ahead and leave that cube there. Well, no, let's delete it. Let's get adventurous. Let's delete it. Okay. And go to your modes, which is right above where your mouse was. There you go. And then go to landscape. Now, you want to create a terrain, and you can make massive ones. We're going to make a small one. So over there in the little left-hand corner is where we're going to live for now. This little thing where it says landscape new and stuff. For the material, what we're going to do, actually go down to your browser. We're going to make a material.
Okay.
So right click. No. We're going to right click and then hit material. So what a material is, this is what's going to texture it to populate the colors and stuff. And just type in landscape material or landscape map. All right. And then open it up. Double click it. This is a part of Unreal we've not seen yet, but it is pretty crazy because it is where you can create, customize materials, change colors, make things transparent, blah, 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 blah. It's where you do all of your Photoshoppy kind of stuff to materials. We're going to do very, very little with this today, except for just adding the material. Hold down T and left click at the same time. There we go. Now that imports a texture sample, and you'll see in the left-hand little column there underneath the shiny ball, there asks for what texture you want in there. There you go. And let's look for grass, because this is going to be one of Unreal's defaults thing. Just find the grass right there. And then this is how you set up a texture in like a normal kind of way. So the reason why I'm going into this is to teach a little bit more about how the behind the scenes works and not just drop texture straight on it, because we could have just dropped that grass texture right on the landscape. But this is a little more of a formal way to set it up, because you're probably going to need a more complicated. You're probably gonna have to undo that and redo it if you're doing any kind of game later. So we're kind of going, this is more the right way. So that RGB, that's the red, green, blue values, just grab that top one, RGB, and drag it to base color. Boom. Now that's the way, this little center column there, this is kind of like everything that happens, while all the nodes are the programming that makes it happen. So that looks kind of like grass, but we can make it look a little more 3D. Do the left click T thing again in some open space. And then there is a texture again, type grass again, and you'll see a pink one.
Oh.
Nope, yeah, sorry. Just go ahead and type grass.
That's the UV map, right?
Yeah. And then you just grab the RGB and you take that to the normal. The normal map. And it gives it a little bit more of a
texture
to it. So that's you can hit save and apply. Or it should apply. Yeah, it applies it when it saves it. So you got a material now. So that's a more formal way to set up a material. Now you can use that material. Just type landscape map. There you go. Popped up right there. That's going to be the landscape. So then you got all sorts of things you can do, like where's it going to be, the transform of it, how big it is. 63 by 63 is huge. We're going to make it really tiny. Go 7 by 7. And then the 1 by 1 sections, you can make more sections. That's plenty of sections for us. You can do number. You can change like how often it repeats and things like that. All that's going to be fine for us. So we're just going to hit create. And then it makes a landscape. So the landscape is different than the floor because you can use both of them as platforms.
These are SimCity tools right here.
Exactly. If you want it to be like SimCity, where you can make mountains and valleys and make things bigger and smaller and stuff like that, if you want that, then you need landscape. If you want blocks and rigidness and just something simple that things can still walk on, just use the floors and blocks and stuff. All that can be walked on and stuff too. But yeah, the sculpting tools are pretty SimCity-esque. You set brush size, fall off size, make things go up and down, and there's smoothing and erosion. You can make ramps that are just more directed for the player to walk up more directly and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the part I think you're gonna like the best, Steven.
Yeah, I'm at home right here. This is my jam.
Yeah, you need no instruction. You're already going. And so you can actually always come back to this and change it later. What's so great about landscapes? And you can make them huge and pretty. We're later too. What made landscapes so great? There are textures. A lot of times, if you get a landscape pack, which we'll go to the Unreal store and try and get a pack and add it in if we got time today. But if not today, we'll do that next time. But when you make a landscape pack, you get these trees and stuff like that. And when you want to add them, you just drag and drop. Or certain meshes you can put in the brush editor, and you can just add with brushes. So you can make grass. You can just draw grass like SimCity, or you can just draw trees like SimCity. It just depends on this texture and stuff like that. But it only works on a landscape. You can't just take these things and do it on blocks, unless it's Okay, so with the caveat of more professionals know how to make exceptions to every rule. This is just a hard and fast getting started. If you want it to work and not have to relearn the entire software in a better way, then you want to go with landscapes.
All right.
So that's landscapes in a nutshell. So another thing, that tessellation, that tiling, when you rebuild your lighting, that'll go away. So let's go ahead and go to... let's go back to modes and go back to select mode. So in your right middle of your, there you go, select. And then that goes back to your normal editor. You can always go back and change your thing later. But then you go to see the builds, go to the little arrow right next to builds on your top menu. The top menu. We're just going to call that the top menu.
The top.
Yeah. The build is to the left. And then go to lighting, build lighting only. You're going to get an error a lot that's like, hey, you need to rebuild your lighting. Hey, you need to rebuild your lighting. And that's okay. You just, you don't have to rebuild it like ever. Just it's going to think and work through it. Your computer's pretty fast, so it's not taking it long. Boom. That's when you see little errors like that, it's most likely because the computer has to redo the lighting on the fly. And it doesn't just constantly redo the lighting. You have to bake it.
There we go.
All right. So now... let's go ahead and play and see if your character spawns in the right spot. Okay, you fell through the earth. That's what I thought was going to happen. Go ahead and hit stop. And then double-click on your landscape or light source in the right-hand world outliner so to get back to where you want to go. So in the world outliner right there. Yep, go double-click on any of those. There. And so now you can see where you are again. So it gets you back to a normal spot in the editor. So on your landscape, since you already clicked on it, one we can do is make it lower. Just go ahead and zero out the location. Just hit 0, 0, 0. Well, or maybe 0 on the Y. At least. Actually, no. I'm sorry, not the Y. That puts you on the corner. The Z, it's too high. It's too high. That's it. The Z. Okay, there you go. Some live and learn in there. So now when we hit play, your character should fall and land on the landscape there. Yeah, there we go. So he's designed to... You could have raised your player start up, because your player start's where it like spawns in your character. You could have raised that up, but instead, you still can't click around, yeah. Instead, you lowered it down. So this is why we're making a level from scratch. This is what the real stuff you run into. So you're watching a tutorial, they'll be like, well, you blankety, 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 blank. And then you're like, okay, cool. And you go into your own level and you're like, oh, but none of the stuff works now. And you don't know why. So now we're going to make it work like normal. Let's go ahead and go to that place actors in their left-hand column there and type in at the top type in navigation, nav mesh bounds. There we go.
Wait, navigation.
No, that's different. Nav mesh bounds. Nav mesh bounds volume is fine. So drag that in, and then you want to put that. Grab the blue arrow, put that on the floor there, and then it's okay if it's under it a little bit. It's fine. And then make it bigger. Make it as big as the world. So you can go to your little and then grab the middle of it where they're all three line up.
Like this.
Yeah, and then you can make the whole thing bigger. You can make it bigger in the world. That's fine.
I'd say fall off the edge, I guess.
Well, you still shouldn't fall off the edge. It's actually, I've learned that's pretty hard to make happen. But if you can go to your show, which is in your little editor window there. There's a little thing called show in the top left-hand corner of your editing window. And then you'll see navigation. Click that on. Everything that's green is where your character can successfully walk.
Because it's too steep, it automatically figured that out. Look at that.
Yeah, see, that's what makes Unreal so awesome, is you don't have to do all this crap yourself. And you can build in ramps, or you can smooth it out customly for the player. There's all sorts of ways to fix that. None of that matters for us right now because it's not a game about climbing that mountain. So
not yet, it isn't.
Not yet.
That soccer ball's gonna get to the top of the mountain in 30 seconds.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of, let's go ahead and drop the ball. Drop the ball into the level. So it's there in your content browser. Just drag and drop. See, you don't have to remake the ball. Go to your arrows, though. So right now it's on the big size thing. Go to your arrows.
Arrows.
Yeah. And go up. And then now it should fall in like normal instead of having a clip-in problem like it did where you couldn't hit it. And then now we're back to...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And see, you don't have to remake everything. You can have an asset and go from level to level and level and just drop that asset in whenever you need.
That's cool. So we're still in the same project, technically.
Yeah, we're still in the same project. We're just in a new level. So we don't have to... once you did all your hard work, it's done. You can hit stop again and drag your goal in, and the goal should still work.
All right, the goal. I'm not going to put it on top of the mountain just because time. But
right.
All right, and the goal should still keep running.
Score.
The goal should keep the
score. It's too low, though. Well, it doesn't matter exactly, but it is lower than...
The real question is, where will the ball spawn? Is that logic? It's in the goal, so...
But the logic's in the goal, but it has referring to nothing. Oh!
Back to origin point. There may be a default thing?
Yeah, that's my guess. See, I'm learning a little bit too. It did respawn the ball, though. That's really interesting. I bet there's going to be an error that says, like, when you did done here, I bet it's going to be like, error, what's it called, was missing. Target point was missing. Yeah. Blueprint error, access none, call function array, and it's looking for spawn ball. Yeah, so so we can fix that right now. Hit X. Remember your target point there that says target point blueprint in your content browser in the bottom?
Yeah.
Drag and drop that where you want the ball to spawn.
Over here.
Make it higher in the air so it doesn't clip into the ground. And then now, when you score, your ball will spawn on that little hill there and roll off the map.
We'll see. Not the best character navigation. Oh, there it is. Woo! Free ball.
See, and now when we exit, there's no error code because it was looking for that piece and we hadn't added it to the level yet. So we added it to level, it found the piece, everything's peachy.
Yay.
So we remade the game.
That was quick.
Yeah, and another level. And so this is how, you can make it all pretty, and you can make a little valley. You can add obstacles, whatever you want to do. Yeah, and you can make things custom for each different level. Let's go ahead and do we don't really need this for our game, quote unquote, but since there's no really goal here other than learning the engine, just go ahead and make a trigger point. And so go ahead into your place actors and type trigger's a word for Unity, but we're gonna call it box trigger. There we go. Maybe I'm getting all confused now. Yeah, just grab box trigger, drag it on there, put it somewhere different. Yeah, and then let's put a block next to it, like a little block inside of it, so we can see it, because we'll never ever 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 see it. Yeah, but put it next to it, or at least make it bigger than it, because right now we won't be able to touch it because we could make this a blueprint, right? We could put that trigger box on the side of a cube or whatever, but this is just a point so we can know where it is. It's right in front of it there or around it. So now we know how to find it. So go ahead and go ahead to that trigger box, and then we want to go to blueprint, like create a blueprint out of it.
How would you?
So underneath it, so you got it covered up right now. There you go. And the blueprint add script. Boom. Now the trigger box, you're going to just, it's already how you want it. Just hit select. And then you, just like we did in the previous one, we've escalated this to a blueprint where now we can add code to it. And then so scroll down on your right side and you'll see select. You got to first select the collision there. And now scroll down to your right side more. There is an on component hit or on component overlap, begin overlap. Let's go to the begin overlap. And then we can do this thing where we drag off overlap component. That's fine. You can drag off from overlap. Overlap actor is what you need, though, because component is something inside of a blueprint, like a piece of it, but an actor is like the whole thing.
Okay.
And then type in player character. And what's your yours is called, this is called first person. It's different for every project. It's called
top down
character. That's it, not first person. We're not first person. Top down character. There you go. And then so boom, we're casting the top down character. So now when it overlaps, it's going to take a look at the top down character and make sure that that's the thing that's overlapping, and it's going to trigger something. And what we're going to do is, now that we have more than one level, let's go ahead and save this level before we do anything else. So minimize this. Save current. And then you want to name it. Go to your see, where does it put it? Content, mannequins, starter content.
Some in game.
Yeah, go ahead and hit just new map, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now go back to your trigger box. And what I just know this is called, the one we were in is called top-down example map. So drag off the top-down character, the next node there, because we want that. We want to cue the next action, and we want to type level. Type level. And there should be like a open level by name. And then type in the name there. It says none. Type capital T, top, down, capital D, example, capital E, map, capital M. And then click off, compile, save. And then now when we play the level, you should be able to walk over to the cube.
Hey,
look at that!
But now we're stuck in this dimension.
Yeah, and so funny enough, I don't think it spawned the ball, and that's probably has to do with how we had we'd have to have a way to get back, right?
Yeah, but the ball spawned on game start, and so the game.
Yeah, and so the game didn't start.
Oh.
No, there it is. We just had it really high up. I forgot about that. Yeah, so
boom.
So that would be, you can call that like it's just a normal thing. You don't have to do it from a trigger box. You can do it at an event, like when score hits certain blank, like however you want to call it, you can call it. But that's level changing. So that could be you want to make that soccer ball a real soccer ball.
I think we're done for the day.
We're done for the day? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what we'll pick up. We'll add trees and soccer balls the next time, and then we'll talk about exporting the level, and that'll be
Yay. Awesome.
So level change is pretty easy, ain't it? I thought that in Unity it is ridiculous, but
this is very It feels way easier than it should be.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's got to be some complex craziness, right? Now, as you get up in learning stuff, there's like best practice ways and things like that that AAA studios do for their massive, massive games. Uh, and I'm learning more and more of those the more I learn. But for functional purposes, like you want to participate in a game jam, this is gonna work.
Right.
Like there's gonna be no issues. Your game's too small to worry about all the little nuances of whether or not you have used a gig of RAM versus 3/4 of a gig of RAM.
Yeah.
So
All
anyway,
right.
thanks for following along, guys. Hope you found this lesson interesting.
Yeah, it's been fun.